Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ajua and I hope this video finds you well. If you are new to this place, kindly consider subscribing, and to all my returning subscribers, thank you so much for your support and welcome back. It's all about Paris Corner today. I have some amazing gourmand fragrances that I are releasing, and I'm going to start with these two, Miel Vanille and Miel Obscura. These are heavy honey-based fragrances, and from my observation, based on what I saw during Beauty World and other videos and blogs and vlogs, I kind of have a feeling honey is going to be one of those super high and dominant notes you're going to see for next year. It looks like a lot of houses are releasing a lot of fragrances that have the note of honey or a very heavy dominant honey note, and so are these two fragrances, but they are completely different. They don't smell alike in any way. So I'm going to give you a review and then compare it to some things if they smell like some things I already have come across. So I'm starting off with Miel Vanille. This is how it looks like. It indicates the honey, the bee, to give you a glimpse of what to expect. And I love this one. I truly, genuinely love this one. All these fragrances were gifted by Paris Corner, and I got to find out about some of the releases during Beauty World. I had no idea they existed until then. So the notes for vanille, Miel Vanille includes honey, spices, and then davana at the top. In the middle, we have coconut, we have benzoin, and then incense. And then at the base, there's vanilla, there's brown sugar, and then ambroxan. This reminds me of something, but consider this as the smoother, much more wearable version of that particular fragrance that I'll be speaking about, later on. But when it comes to Miel Vanille, it is a honey-based fragrance with a heavy coconut, that sort of toasted coconut and vanilla with some, I wouldn't say palisandra or palisanto, that wood. I wouldn't say that, but it sort of gives me that. And if there is any fragrance that reminds me of that palisanto wood thing, it's got to be vanilla powder, the very popular one. And I know vanilla powder is not a lot of people's, cup of tea. I've heard a few people say they couldn't really do vanilla powder. This was going to remind you of vanilla powder, but consider this one as a honey infused vanilla powder. It gives me that feel. I wouldn't say it is 100% of it. It's maybe 80% with their own twist. With their Paris Corner added their own twist to this. Gives you a smoother, much more resonant, much more syrupy, thicker version of vanilla powder, in my opinion. The coconut is not the most dominant. That palisandra wood, is not the most. Palisanto is not the most dominant. No, in this one, it feels much more wearable, much more smoother. If you love the DNA, you're going to enjoy this one a lot. Even if you do not love that DNA, you are still going to enjoy this one because it feels a lot more wearable, in my opinion. It feels a lot more mass appealing, in my opinion. It feels heavy on that honey. They sort of replaced the caramel in vanilla powder with honey. So it is still sweet, but just imagine the caramel being replaced with honey. So it gives it an animalic resonance, thick, clean honey feel infused with that coconut and that woods, that palisanto woods. It's quite woody, coconutty, but it's not your tropical coconut. It's more like a toasted coconut. It's gourmandy, but not ultra foodie, not too in your face. There's also this smooth incense feel to this one. It is well blended. I love this one, but just consider it as your vanilla powder mixed with much more honey, a little less woody, much more smoother, in my opinion. I love vanilla powder and the other several dupes I have spoken about on this channel, but I think this is like the most wearable. Even if you do not love that DNA, there's something quite different, quite toned down, quite smoother, quite well blended. Not to say the original one is not well blended. It's one of the best blended, fragrances. But there's something about this one for the price you're getting this for, and the smoothness and how well meshed or coherent. The notes come together. I think it's a very beautiful one, and that is going to be my take on Miel Vanille from Paris Corner. The next one is going to be the Miel Obscura, and this is your heavy 100% honey based scent. It has the following notes: pine, bergamot, and caramel at the top. In the middle, there is honey, there is rose, there is violet, and then at the base, there is benzoin, cedar, and musk. It is totally different from this one, although they are quite heavy honey scents. They are not the same. You can own both. And this is your very pure, non-animalic honey floral rose scent. It is clean and musky and floral. It's very floral. If you love your florals and your honey, most times florals pair beautifully with honey. And so is the case of Miel Obscura. It is sweet, it is decadent, but it's not cloying. There's something about this that is heavy on that caramel and honey, but it's still not cloying at all. It is smooth. It is a clean honey, nothing animalic and skunky. You're not getting anything like that from this. It's going to give you a clean, beautiful, sweet, resonant, syrupy, thick honey. It's if you love something like Kim Kardashian's honey, which I have and I love. If you enjoy this one, consider this one as a much thicker, much more syrupy, much more rounded, much more woody version of that sort of vibe. Not the same thing, not the same thing, but just to give you an idea of what to expect. If you love that, clean, floral, musky, honeyed, sweet, syrupy, dense, but for some reason, it doesn't come across as cloying at all. It is beautiful. It is smooth. The blend. As a matter of fact, I was telling myself that these two are among the best blends when it comes to Paris Corner fragrances I have smelled lately. The blends are so superior. The quality is amazing. I love both fragrances. They give off this very smooth, clean vibe, sweet and syrupy and decadent and gourmand, but not annoying in your face all over the place. Nothing like that at all. So this is going to be your heavy honey based, with the florals and a bit of a woody, musky undertone. It is sweet with the caramel, but it's not cloying at all. I think it is one of those perfectly balanced fragrances you can wear year round. It's not going to be annoying and cloying in the high heat. It's also going to be able to stand that colder weather. It's cut through it. It is beautiful, and that is going to be my take on Miel Obscura from Paris Corner. The bottles are pretty amazing quality you are getting in these two bottles, and I highly recommend that you check them out. These are very blind buy safe. Their performance are good on skin. You're getting at least your 3 hours plus, 3 hours at minimum on skin, and then on clothes, you're not getting anything less than 6 hours plus, after which you would have to reapply. They are not beast mode fragrances. Bear in mind, they are not super beast mode, but they really give you that presence you need. People arm's length, around you are going to smell you. So longevity is not, it's not a bad performer. It's not abysmal. It is moderate or modest, but it's not beast mode when it comes to these two fragrances. So the next is going to be AZM. AZM. I hope that is how it is called. AZM or AZM. And this is supposedly their take on 100 Silent Ways, which people have likened to Black Opium. I have not tried 100 Silent Ways, but I have Black Opium, the original EDP. And what I can say is this and that Black Opium that I have nothing in common. They don't smell alike in any way. The note for this one includes the following. Let me just read my notes to you. It includes peach, there is pear, there is rum and mandarin at the top, there is jasmine and tuberose in the middle, and then there is vanilla, musk, sandalwood, and then vetiver at the base. This gives me vibes of a very typical mass appealing designer fragrance. It is very mass appealing. If you're looking for something on the go, very fun and flirty and girly, sweet, fruity floral, is going to be AZM, but it doesn't in any way remind me of Black Opium, which is likened to that 100 Silent Ways from Michane that I have not smelled. I'm just making the comparison and reference based on what it has been compared to, but they don't give me a similar vibe in any way. This gives me that very sweet, juicy pear. That pear is quite dominant. It's like a pear vanilla combo, with that touch of citrus. But what I'm getting for the most part is that juicy pear and then the vanillas and a hint of roots. That is what I'm getting for the most part. It sort of puts me in the vibe of something like the Kingdom for Hair from Latafa, as well as Paris Corner's care felicity. It sort of gives me that vibe, especially at the opening, where I get that beautiful burst of fruit with that vanilla, with the an airy fluffy feel that accompanies the opening. It is nothing screechy at all. The blend is amazing, but it doesn't remind me of anything like that heavy coffee almondy feel of black opium, which has been likened to 100 silent ways. It doesn't remind me of that at all. This one is a very beautiful scent. It is very mass appealing. It feels like your department store, Macy's, fruity floral, the ones that a lot of people are going to appreciate, all ages. It feels very mass appealing. It is not young. A lot of age groups can wear it, from teenage to whatever age. It's very versatile in my opinion, but it reminds me, it sort of puts me in that vibe of the Kingdom hair in a way. If you love that, which is a very pretty, soft, gentle, womanly, feminine scent, that is going to follow suit. If you love the wedding silk santal, it is not as effervescent as that, but this one has a very beautiful, sweet pear and that peach. The peach is not the most dominant in my opinion. I think I get the pear and the vanilla and a hint of that mandarin. I'm not really getting the booziness, the rum. I'm not really getting any booziness, but it's also early days. I've had this for a little over a week at this point, or yeah, a little over a week at this point, and I've been going through it. It's beautiful, it is effortless, it is simple, it is something you just throw on when you don't want to think too much about something. It is versatile for work. You can take it to work, you can dress it up, you can dress it down. Longevity is also not beast, it's not beast mode, but you're getting your 3 hours plus on skin, 6 to 7 on clothes, after which you would have to reapply if you want to your presence to be felt. So it's a very beautiful scent, but it doesn't give me that black opium, coffee, almond, heavy vanilla sort of feel. It doesn't give me that at all. And that is going to be my take on AZM or AZM from Paris Corner. Very beautiful, safe blind buy, very safe blind buy. And I'm also going to talk about Qissa Ella, Qissa Gala, Qissa Gala, also from Paris Corner. I was so looking forward to this fragrance. And of all the fragrances I have in this particular video, I think this is the most, it took a surprising turn for me. I didn't know what to expect because, first of all, I had not seen any, I had not watched any, even till this day, I have not watched any review on this one, but I've read about it on Fragrantica. And I sort of agree with someone who made a comment about what this one sort of feels like. Either it was listed or something, or there was something that sort of gelled well for me. So the notes for this one includes the following. There is violet leaf, there is gardenia, there is ylang ylang, there is almond, there is lily of the valley, tuberose, coconut, plum, musk, moss, sweet notes, vanilla. That is the note structure for this one. And this is such a pleasant turn of event to me or to my nose. It doesn't smell like any of the kisses that I have in adult. I think I love the Qissa Delicious, but this is a complete deviation from that. Not a deviation in a bad way, but in a very beautiful turn of event way. It gives me the florals. I get a very creamy florals, the tuberose, lily of the valley, the I think gardenia, gardenia violet. It gives me it's a heavy violet scent. The bottle sort of reminds me of the juice. The bottle speaks for what to expect from the juice, violet. But it's not powdery and musky and irisy. It's not. You get that violet, creamy florals. That is what you're getting for the most part. What this also gives me is a vanilla that I'm very familiar with. The vanilla here feels like a very green vanilla. It is not your foodie vanilla, but rather a green sort of vanilla, you know. a green sort of vanilla. It sort of gives me that than a gourmand, a true gourmand, or a straight up vanilla. It doesn't give me that. It is creamy and floral and soft. It's soft and gentle. It's also very versatile in my opinion. If you love something comforting. You're going to expect it from this one. It's quite comforting, quite endearing, also floral, a little sweet. It's not as sweet like the sickening sweet. It's more of a floral, cuddly, cozy, although very versatile that you can dress up and down. But it strongly reminds me of Aura from Mugle, my beloved Aura from Mugle. It sort of gives me a similar undertone, but this one is like the much more out there version, while this one is like the floral forward aura, like a floral forward aura, but it's a very heavy vanilla with some other, incenses and smokiness. But when it comes to this one, it sort of reminds me, puts me in that similar, like a less intense, much more creamy, much more softer, but much more floral version of Mugler's aura. It gives me that in a very surprisingly beautiful way. It is soft and gentle. It is very beautiful, very charming, a little complex. It's one of those that you would assume. It's so unassuming. It's so unassuming in a very beautiful, surprising way. And I love this one. And this is Qissa Gala. If you love, even if you don't love aura, even if you do not love aura, which you might feel is a little too intense, a little too much, it is going to be the much more wearable, much more younger sort of feel, much more cozy, cuddly feel, much more year round. It's like year round, version of that DNA. Especially when it comes to that green vanilla, I find it aura. It's the green vanilla that sort of pulls very similar to me in the opening, the dry down, but it's quite soft and gentle as compared to this, very wide and wild, one from Mugle. So if you love aura or if you do not love aura, it's going to be that stepping stone that is going to slide you through liking that actual aura. It's sort of built up to anticipating something a lot more stronger. It's very beautiful, very mass appealing. A blind safe, blind buy safe fragrance. Just don't say because I am particularly comparing it to aura, you are going to steer off it. It's gives you a similar feel, but that more floral, creamy undertone of that, green vanilla from Aura. That is what I perceive in this. And that is a very beautiful composition all in all. Longevity is amazing. It's going to give you, I think most Paris corners give me around 3 to 4 hours on skin, and then you need to reapply. But if you wear them on clothes, obviously they stay a lot more longer. It is not beast mode, it is super mass appealing. People around you are going to smell you, but it's very calm here, very inviting. And this is Qissa Gala from Paris Corner. And these are the 4 fragrances. Yeah, I think I'm sticking to 4 in this particular video that I wanted to share from Paris Corner. There were other gifts I also received from Paris Corner, which includes Miel, which I already have. So this is like a backup bottle for me. I enjoy this one, supposedly baklava royale, that almond, pistachio, vanilla, heavy cream, cuddly, cozy feel. I love this, and I'm so glad that I got a backup bottle, from Paris Corner. I was also gifted this one, marshmallow blush that I also have. So this is like a backup bottle for me. Very beautiful, creamy marshmallow, vanilla, strawberry scent, as we all know and love. It's beautiful. And also the last one here is going to be vibrant orange and neroli, which I feel needs to sit for a while. I feel there is something about that is the neroli is a little too intense for me at this particular point. It's one of those that I feel needs to sit for a while, then you can really enjoy and appreciate the true beauty of this fragrance. It's still a very beautiful scent, but I feel it needs to sit down for a while to settle down. And that is going to be vibrant orange and neroli. I love the vibrant vetiver delight. I've always praised that fragrance. It's a very beautiful, candied, bergamot and lemon. It's very beautiful. But this one, I thought it needs to sit for a while. So yeah, that is going to be a wrap for my video for the day. And I hope this video found you well. So please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I hope to see you in my next one. Take care. Bye bye.